Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. On Monday's episode of Raw, top heel Randy Orton somehow turned even more heel by punting his up-to-them manager Ric Flair in the head. It sure was dastardly, but it was no turning the lights on and off. Am I right, Retribution? Those scamps. Thankfully, Rick has recovered enough to respond to Randy on Twitter, but the head injury has made him capitalize every word. I wanted last night to go differently. What I would have said is, I don't know what would have happened if my son was in this business, but I do know what Charlotte has done. And like you, Randy, she is much better than I ever was. Just like you have surpassed your father, that's it. It's like a BuzzFeed title. Randy's punt on Flair is thought to have been a way to write Rick's character off TV for the foreseeable future. WrestlingNews.co have reported this was originally meant to take place last month after Extreme Rules, following the Raw main event match between Orton and The Big Show. But Flair had to self-isolate at home when his wife, Wendy Barlow, tested positive for COVID-19, so that angle was delayed until this week. In a shocking new development, however, pro wrestling might be at work, brother! WrestlingNews.co is also reporting there is still talk within the company about having Orton walk out of SummerSlam with the title. This would be so McIntyre could then win it back at either the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania 37 in front of fans. A pop he missed out on WrestleMania 36's closed set show. So how do you book Randy to win in 2 weeks' time without weakening McIntyre? Brian Alvarez might have the answer. Speculating on Wrestling Observer Live, speculating, remember, meaning this isn't a report or rumor or a fact, it's just his idea based on what's happened. Alvarez said the only way that Randy wins at SummerSlam is with help, based on how strongly Drew has been booked as champion, and that the best way to do this is a swerve. Ric Flair is going to come out at SummerSlam and he's going to help Randy Orton win the 14th world title, and they will have been in cahoots. Tell that to Ric Flair's just kicked in head on Raw though. Well, Brian's thought of that too, pointing out you never actually saw the point of impact. Alvarez noted Monday's episode was a taped show, meaning they could have easily shown that actual punt by using camera trickery and sound effects, just like how they did when Orton punted the also not medically cleared Christian in their unsanctioned match back in June. But instead, Randy waited for the lights to black out because of Retribution interference, meaning we never saw that actual move. This could have been Flair pretending he'd been punted so Rick can return at SummerSlam, sucker Drew into thinking he's on his side, but then turn on him to help Orton win. Again, it's all speculation at this point, but SummerSlam's tagline is, "You'll never see it coming," implying some kind of major swerve, and Alvarez's fantasy booking is logical. Which means WWE probably won't do it. What do you think will happen at SummerSlam? Let me know in the comments down below because I'll be replying to people from out of Randy Orton's boot. But while Orton and Drew's storyline is developing strongly, Vince McMahon has reportedly dropped another top feud on Raw. Thanks for your support on Patreon, the British Bulldog Philip Boy J. Smith Jr. and Ryan Disco Stewart. Although Monday's Seth vs. Dominic contract signing segment was really very good, it did have a rather large logic hole. Why didn't Kevin Owens, who's been involved in the storyline, save Dominic from being turned into Lucha Ham? According to a new report from Dave Meltzer, it's because the plans for KO on Raw have been dropped, and he's currently without a proper direction. Owens was reportedly set to reprise his WrestleMania feud with Rollins over the summer, but WWE dropped that when Ray agreed to stay sometime last week, where they decided to carry on with the Mysterio vs. Monday Night Messiah program instead. AEW made an offer that equaled the WWE's per-match offer, but the WWE offer was higher because it was for more dates. Ray's new contract is said to be for longer than his initial 18-month term, but not as long as the 5-year deals WWE is trying to get everyone else to sign. Dominic is said to be a big part of that deal, which explains why they've gone for him versus Seth at SummerSlam over Owens. But that's not the only huge thing dropped from Raw, as the sexy dancers were also missing from this week's Underground segments. Don't look at the sexy dancers! In a promotional clip tweeted out by WWE over the weekend, they pushed the sexy dancers on Underground, prompting WWE Hall of Famer and one-time 24/7 champion Medusa to reply, "So, we are bringing back half-naked women in the same breath of promoting the evolution and equality of women? Yes, this is entertainment. Yes, this is a skit. Yes, this is acting. Yes, these are wrestlers. Why resort to women sexually dancing opening a show? Why not men in Speedos?" Dancing men in Speedos in that setting would actually be really, really funny. But sometimes true equality is letting people exploit themselves, as Liv Morgan argued. "Hey, Raw Underground, can we bring back the dancers next week? We have come so far in the evolution, and with no signs of slowing down, I don't think it is in any danger. Showing beautiful women proudly dancing, believe it or not, huge money-making profession, doesn't hurt anything. Empower all women." And the just returned to Raw Mickie James agreed. IKEA? Can we also shake what our mamas gave us? Only took them 9 months to make it, asking for a friend who loves a good dance party. That is all. Do you want to see Raw Underground's sexy dancers come back? Let me know in the comments. Personally, I didn't find it that exploitative. I just find it awkward and cringy, with Shane McMahon hopping around in front of them and Kevin Dunn crash zooming. Let's check in on WWE's ratings for a numbers-based answer on whether viewers want to see scantily clad women seductively dance next to a fight pit. They don't care. The Raw rating was pretty much the same as last week, only adding 7,000 more viewers to average 1.72 million. The ever-crucial 18 to 49 demo, however, was down 8% to the third lowest number in the history of the show. Maybe Rock the Dwayne Johnson could help them out on Fox. The Rock has been named the highest paid actor of 2020 by Forbes, which is pretty impressive when hardly any films have come out this year. We'll always have you, Sonic. So to treat himself, Dwayne bought a football league. But not just any football league, Vince McMahon's twice-failing sports brand, the XFL. McMahon's second attempt was even shorter than its first, only lasting a few months before being shut down by the pandemic. But even before then, ABC, ESPN and Fox were said to be concerned about the league's declining ratings. They don't seem to care that much, however, when a name as big as Rock's is attached to it, as Front Sports Office is reporting Fox is once again interested in airing XFL games. But it won't be the same kind of deal the Vince McMahon-backed XFL got. But with SmackDown also airing on Fox, the network could pull off one of the most devastating moves in all of corporate strategy: brand synergy and cross-promotion. After Monday's quick-fire wrestling news round went well, here's the Shooting Gallery. You can suggest a better name for it in the comments. I literally just came up with that. FTR told Fightful Select that several WWE stars pitched losing to them to get them over to Vince McMahon, but he always turned down the ideas because he didn't see the Them revival as top guys. Apparently those who wanted to help them included Bray Wyatt, The New Day, all three of the Usos, Randy Orton, and even Roman Reigns. Impact Wrestling announced a 2-night TV event starting next week called Emergence, with the second night being headlined by a 30-minute Iron Man match between Jordan Grace and Deonna Purrazzo. Nah, mate, you want to put that on YouTube? Also on Impact, last night's episode saw the former Kurt Hawkins make his in-ring debut as Brian Myers, losing to Eddie Edwards for the world title. Chris Jericho has donated $5,000 to the GoFundMe for Kamala to help his family cover the funeral costs. Ring of Honor announced they will be taping TV this month in Maryland, with Brian Alvarez noting on Wrestling Observer Live they will be unlike anything wrestling fans have ever seen. And we just saw the biggest company in the world promote a match where an eye was gouged out. And finally, Priscilla Kelly announced on Twitter that she and former partner Darby Allin have filed for divorce after splitting 2 years ago. Kelly wrote, "We are on great terms and wish only the best for each other. There are no hard feelings, as we both understand this is what is best." Now, I know we say support WrestleTalk at the start of practically every video we upload, but I need that from you all now more than ever. Serious talk time. QuizzleMania 2000 is today, which will see the very reputation of WrestleTalk on the line. Wrestling with Regrets Brian Zane and Queen of the Ring, Going in Raw's Stephen Larson, and Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp and Denise Salcedo will be taking on WrestleTalk, represented by myself and Luke Owen. Me and Luke have been with WrestleTalk from the start, with the OGs, and we're proud of the family-friendly brand we've created. We don't just cuss for no reason, and now that sap over at Fightful has taken our pure, hopeful catchphrase, "Jam that jam," and warped it, twisted it into f*** that f***. The FTF movement ends tonight because the Mantor one is trampling all over it. Can you hear that, Sean? I've got goosebumps on my arms, but you can't see them under these hairy forearms. I'm Robin Williams, and I'm telling you to run, because there's a stampede coming. Set your reminder for QuizzleMania 2000 by clicking the video on the right, and have WWE already botched Retribution? Watch mine and Luke's review of Raw on the WrestleTalk podcast below that. I've been Ollie Davis, asking you all sincerely to support me, support Luke, support WrestleTalk against FTF tonight. That was wrestling, and jam that jam.